Good evening, Isaac. How are you?
Good evening, Ryan. I am doing well. Welcome to the game chat.
Yeah, welcome to the game chat. I only got one. Look at how cool I am. I only got one headphone in. This is the equivalent. I don't know if you grew up in the '90s. This is the equivalent of like one of the straps of your suspenders thrown over your shoulder. Did you ever do that?
No, sir. But I
Really?
did have my hat looks weird. I did have quite
You
a
look like an
few.
airplane pilot.
Uh,
The big
Roger that.
headphone.
1 2 1 2 coming
There
down.
we go.
I did this when we did our Skull King stream, and it was much more comfortable in the earbuds. I don't like earbuds. I hate earbuds.
Yeah.
So we'll try it. We'll see. My hat looks weird though.
I think it's good.
No, I did have a lot of cross colors shirts though. So
Yep. Cross colors.
That was kind of my jam. So,
it was
not the suspenders.
It was really popular. You would wear suspender shorts and the what is it? Not the overall shorts. Okay?
Yeah, the bib overalls.
The stonewash overall shorts, and then you just unstrap one and throw it behind you and just let it hang. Like, you know what? I only got halfway dressed. I don't even care. I came to school like this. I'm a rebel. Look at me.
Yeah, I was actually a rebel. That was our school mascot.
I was a pirate.
A pirate, really?
Yeah, the Raiders.
I can see that. Okay, I like that. I can see that.
Yeah. That was fun.
We're no longer the rebels, though. They changed that.
Okay. What was my middle school? I don't know what my middle school was. I have no idea. Anyway,
anybody tuning in is like, what is?
Yeah, what is this crap?
What is this show?
I usually enjoy a different type of crap on Monday nights, but they have no guest. So actually, our guest is incoming. He came off of a flight just a few minutes ago, so we're just giving him a little bit of time talking about lost a viewer. Oh, jeez! I knew
you know
that
what
was
we
gonna
need?
happen. What?
We need a logo for the game chat. Not that yours isn't
the
fine.
game chat. No, I think a proper game chat logo.
Yeah, I would love a game chat logo. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know. What that could entail. Just half of our faces each smashed together.
Oh yeah, smashed together faces. Hey, we've got our special guest.
How do you know? I don't even know. Hey, there he is.
What's up, Nathan? How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are both of you?
Good.
Good. I'm so glad that your audio works and we don't have to decode it and figure it out while we're live, So
good. I was skeptical myself, but thanks for being patient with me. I am just this second coming in the door from the airport, but very excited to be here, and thank you so much for having me as your guest.
Yeah,
thanks
definitely
for making the time for us. Awesome.
Yeah, we started, Nathan. We started the show just talking about this is not like written down anywhere, nothing useful. But we were talking about some of the styles that we went through in our middle school, early high school years. I was telling Isaac about the wearing the overall shorts and then taking off one of the clips and throwing it back.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know I'm reluctant to say too much about my high school style because I don't want to reveal my age, but I feel like I can maybe hang. I'm in one of the ages that starts with a T or an F. We'll put it in that area.
Okay.
I think you're right there with us.
I think we're all around that.
We're both old men here. It's fine.
So yes.
I would say like the dopest look from high school.
There it is.
Would be I mean, I know this is a cliche to mention, but I would say the hypercolor T-shirt. Do you remember the color changing?
Yep.
The hypercolor T-shirt.
Put your handprint on it.
Absolutely, and it would only change color for like 3 or 4 washings, and then it would just be the secondary color forever.
Exactly.
And then then at least in my school, you were nobody unless you were wearing Umbro shorts. Do you remember the soccer style of shorts?
Yeah.
I
actually played soccer in middle school, so I wore those non-ironically. I actually wore them for real. So.
Non-ironically,
they're a good look.
Yeah,
it's but that's not cool. We're not talking fashion today.
We're not talking fashion. I know this is where people come for the fashion, board game fashion. Speaking of, go to our Teespring store. This is my vintage Meeple shirt that I designed.
Looks great.
Go over to our Teespring store and you can purchase one of those. But yeah, so we're not talking about fashion tonight. We're talking about summer gaming. So
summertime
gaming.
Officially summer now.
Game. I know it's really hot.
Let's temperature check. What do we got in Alabama?
Temperature check.
Or in Georgia, I'm sorry. What's
Georgia? What's your temperature? You guys are close to each other, right? You guys
are. Oh, are we? Isaac, where are you?
I don't know. I am in Northwest Ohio.
Oh, I'm in Central Ohio. I'm in Columbus, the home of origins.
Oh, I didn't realize that was home base for you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Toledo area, so just a couple hours away.
It says 77, but I think that's a bunch of crap. Because it's been like 98 for a week.
It has, and it's going to be back to that for us soon. But we had 75 right now.
Okay, it's supposed to rain any minute now, so I'm very excited about that. So get some rain. Anyway, tonight we're talking about summer gaming, and your first question. What's your first question for us tonight, Isaac?
Yeah, we love talking about games. We love talking about food also. That is my second favorite hobby. Right, to gaming. No, food's my favorite hobby. But when it comes to summer foods, right? When you think summer food, barbecue, cooking outside, and your family get-togethers, reunions, church picnics, all those fun things. What's your summer food go-to? Like, what's your favorite? Nathan, you can start, sir.
Oh, this is me. Okay. So summer food. Yeah. It's and I don't necessarily like to look at food seasonally. You know, I like to embrace all foods all seasons long. But I would say that my favorite summertime food, and I don't know if this is anticlimactic, but I love pasta salad. I can't get enough of it all summer long. I will tip over a paper plate with the amount of pasta salad that I will lop onto it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's definitely my go-to, because I feel like somebody always brings it to a barbecue.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it's like the creamy kind of ranchy kind, or sometimes it's like the vinegary kind with the olives. I love it all, and I will always go directly to town on it.
I'm super glad that my son is a big pasta salad fan like me, because I will make a vat of pasta salad around this time of year, and it just sits in the fridge. And so me and Josiah will snack on it for a week, and nobody else touches it. So it's kind of nice. So
it goes with everything. You can always put a little spoonful on the side. It's always perfect.
I've been working on 2 or 3 different pasta salad recipes that I found online, just YouTubers that put stuff up there, and they've been pretty good. I will tell you, making your own mayonnaise is the way to go. I didn't know that made that big of a difference, but the last batch of pasta salad I made 2 weeks ago, I made my own mayonnaise, and that changed my life. So,
like, you'll whip an egg?
Yeah. So whipping it. So what this guy did was, it was an egg emulsion blender, avocado oil, and garlic. And so, and 1 or 2 other little additives, but that was the majority of it. It was really, really good. So, anyway, all right. So mine, I would have to say corn on the cob. Corn on the cob is my go-to. If the grill's going, I got to get corn on the cob. I mean, I'll eat my weight in corn on the cob. I know it has no nutritional value, but it's like, whenever our family of 5, I go to the store and I'm like, what's a reasonable amount of corn for 5 people to eat? 12 pieces. That makes sense, you know? So corn on the cob's my go-to. And then fruit pizza. Do you guys enjoy fruit pizza?
I do.
Giant cookie, and then you ice it, and then put all kinds of fruit all over the top. So
I do enjoy those.
Yep.
What
Brian, will you have so go ahead.
When you say 12 pieces of corn, 12 whole corns or 12 half? Like,
no, not the halves, man. You got to go full on, get the whole corn. Yep.
Okay. It's a fair amount of corn.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, on your fruit pizza, will you do a pattern? Will you just do like spirals, or will you do like an American flag with the strawberries and the bloobs?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on what I have. Like, sometimes I find that the kiwis aren't like good enough for me. Like the kiwi test, it's like, I bought the wrong kiwis. And so like, I'll leave those out, but like, I want blueberries on there. I want strawberries are a must. And then I put bananas on it, and my kids tell me I'm gross. And I already know how Isaac feels, because he's
bananas are disgusting.
Yeah, but that's not real.
Yep, it's true. Amazing. It's next recording. That's what we're gonna do.
Oh, geez, I saw that in the show notes that we're talking about bananas next recording. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, good. Will it game topic? Banana games.
Oh, geez, I could come up with banana games. So, what about you, Isaac?
I went with just straight up traditional. I want the barbecue firing. I don't care what's on it. Okay. Hamburger, hot dog, something off of the grill, right? Because we don't grill in Ohio in December. Right, so the grills kick in the summer, spring, summer into the fall. But also, I want the juiciest fresh watermelon, right? The big old chunk.
Get the right one.
Yes, when you've got good watermelon, I won't stop eating it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And you need that nice, and that's another thing too. It's so weird, like the things you learn on TikTok, right? I learned like the things you look for in a watermelon. Why you do want a little yellow on one side.
Yeah,
you want a firmness, but also the tapping. Like it's so like you go and you look and you check. You're like, oh, this actually checks out. This was a good watermelon.
Yeah.
So watermelon's the best.
Oh man. We're gonna have to throw somebody out of the show. Watermelon is the worst.
Tony,
I would say that watermelons and bananas are the two fruits that have the biggest disparity between what the fruit actually tastes like and what the artificial flavor of it tastes like. Banana flavor doesn't taste like bananas, and watermelon flavor doesn't taste like watermelons.
That's true. That's
true. I hate watermelon flavored candy. In fact, the only artificial watermelon flavored thing I like is the Mountain Dew.
That's good.
Major melon.
Major melon is so good. Yeah.
But not all food talk today. We are going to talk about some other things.
Absolutely.
So our next question, you want to throw it out there, when it comes to like going to these picnics, going to these get-togethers, like board games are good. I bring board games. We're going to talk about some of the games you can bring to these things, but there's also outdoor games that get played, right? The games we play in the yard, the games we play around a net or with a ball or with something in the yard with friends. What are your favorite outdoor yard games?
Do you want me to go first? I will say what mine is, because it's very. In my family, we love can jam. Do you guys know this can jam?
Yep.
Where there's two
Nate, you want to go first?
Cylinders. Oh yeah, did I?
I think Ryan might be delayed on us just a smidge.
Well, Ryan, I was talking about the game of Can Jam, which I think is a new classic. It's two teams of two, and you will both stand at opposing ends of the yard. And there is a cylinder that has a slot in it, and you will throw a frisbee toward your teammate, and they will slap it down into the can, and it feels like absolute heaven when you get it into that can. It's such a delightful game.
Can Jam's so good. Yeah.
I enjoy that. It's usually at every get together party, somebody's playing it, somebody's got one out, and it's easy to play but hard to master, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. My friend John brings that everywhere he goes. So I feel like, in fact, my friend John has this interesting thing for when birthdays come around. He has the mystery birthday bag. It's a giant gift bag that has things that he found, really unique things that he found at thrift stores, things that he has had before that he really enjoyed, but was going to get rid of. And so he brings it over to you on your birthday, and you lay it out on the table and you choose any item that you want. I've gotten everything from like a PS4 game that I really wanted that I never ended up buying. And then this year he had a miniature Can Jam that is for the tabletop. And so it sits about this high, and it's a mini disc. It's amazing. So
I love
does it work with the slapping?
Yeah, you got to smack that thing down hard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it works.
Wow. I love that idea. That's so fun.
Yeah. So it's tabletop Can Jam. So I would have to say cornhole. I don't play cornhole a lot, but when I do get to play, I really enjoy it. And then badminton. When I was a kid, I think every summer was badminton for me. Like I would just go out in the backyard. We'd have a badminton thing set up. And it was one of those cheap ones from Walmart or Kmart or whatever. And I loved badminton growing up. So.
Yeah, it's again, straightforward. Everybody plays it. Everybody knows how to play it, right? Mm-hmm. It's easy to do. I went with I just love getting football out, tossing it around. Sometimes you actually play. Sometimes it's just, just chatting and throwing it, whether it's on the beach, whether it's in the backyard, right? We go to this huge open field behind a school, usually to watch 4th of July fireworks.
Nice.
And usually we take a couple frisbees, a couple footballs. People are just out there having a good time. But another one that's been introduced to me in the last couple of years I really like is Cube. I don't know if you guys have played Cube at all. It is based on an old, I believe it's Viking game, where you've got these wooden little like monoliths, and you've got these sticks that look like batons. They're all wood, and you're tossing them, trying to knock over the other person's little monoliths. And as you knock them over, they have to set them up. So the more of your opponents you knock over, they have to knock over more to get there. So you're trying to basically give them more pieces to knock over, you less pieces. And then there's a middle piece that if you hit it, the game ends before the end. But the interesting thing with it, well, it's a skill game, right, as far as dexterity, but it was based, the original game, the little towers were human skulls, and the pieces you threw with were femur bones. And so that's how these Vikings played this. Now it's much more, docile of a game.
A little less war inducing.
But it was a fun. We've had a lot of get-togethers here recently, and it can play up to like 8 people and get them all involved and have a good time with it. So it's a fun one.
Yeah,
enjoy that.
That's good. Horseshoes, actually, kind of funny. Horseshoes, we when the pandemic hit, we were trying to get outside a little more just because we didn't, and so we've got a small backyard here at the house. I set up some horseshoes with the kids, and I just remember before it got too hot, that first spring, I mean, it was just nice getting out there and throwing horseshoes in the backyard. We didn't have sand and all that stuff, but I mean, we just made it work in the small backyard we have. So
it's awesome.
A game we played a lot when I was a kid, and I don't see it too much anymore. We played a lot of croquet in the yard. Did you have croquet sets, mallets around the yard? We loved playing that.
I never actually knew how to play, but I would just smack the crap out of the ball and like 100%. Hope it goes through. I never knew how to, but I liked it. So
that's good.
We got a yo from somebody. Have no
got a
idea.
Yo. So Facebook user. There we go.
Thank you, yo, whoever you are. You have to tell us who you are.
So,
and thanks for using Facebook, of course.
Facebook appreciates you. So, so what about games that you remember playing during the summer break as a kid? So, summer break, kids are on summer break right now. They're laying around the house sleeping until 11:30 in the morning and getting up to do the dishes as late as possible. What were some of the summertime games when you were out of school that you enjoyed? Board games.
So I grew up with 3 brothers, and so I was the third of 4, and we didn't have a ton of games. We played a lot of cards, but the games we did have were games that our uncles bought for us for Christmas. Like, this is a present for the boys, and we played a lot of Kismet, which I don't know if you know. It's kind of a Yahtzee clone. But a game I remember playing a lot because it was so bizarre and so weird, but it felt so oddly grown up. We played a game called A Question of Scruples. Do you know this game? It is bizarre. It is not for children. It's a weird game to play as an 11-year-old. So the way it's a game it's a party game of sorts where you are presented with a moral quandary and you will answer what you would do in this situation. Like, I remember one was, after a dinner party, you notice $1 in change on the couch where one of your guests was sitting. Do you return it? And you have to answer if you would or not.
Yeah.
And one other that I remember, which blew my mind, was your friend asks to borrow $200 or $2,000 for a year. Do you charge interest? And I would be thinking well, I don't know what interest is, so I kind of want to say no, but also I can't imagine what it would be like to have $2,000, so I think I'm going to say yes.
That's really funny. Yeah,
it's a messed up game to be playing with your 9 and 14-year-old brothers, but that was the game we played a ton of. A Question of Scruples.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that one. So
I just looked it up to make sure I remembered the right game, and I have this somewhere in my basement. I have a bunch of random garage sale party games that I've gotten over the years, and this is definitely. I remember there being one about like you see somebody questionable while you're driving late at night. Do you stop and pick them up or not? And
just that,
no. Probably.
Yeah. That's funny. That's cool.
I was looking at it. I was moving some stuff out of my dad's house, and some of the questions are remarkably bad. That should not even be mentioned in 2022. That were maybe a product of their times and best forgotten.
Yes. So one of the games that I love playing in the summer, because we live next door and down the street to some kids that we were around the same age, a year or younger or older, and so we played the game of Splat a lot. That was the one that came with the actual cans of Play-Doh, and you would make your own little bugs, and you would have this board, and it was a roll and move, or maybe a spin and move game, and you would actually have your bugs, and they would move around the board, and then there were cards or some trigger that allowed other players to take the plastic hand and splat your bug. And it actually spelled out splat when you squished it. I don't know. It was really cool to have Play-Doh integrated with the game. It was something that I remember that game, and I remember just playing in the backyard porch area of my friend's house over and over and over during the summer. And then the other is Yahtzee. My family members would come over, and that was like the go-to. My aunt and uncle would come by. That was the one that we played. Yahtzee hit the table a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah, Yahtzee was definitely high on my list. You mentioned that Play-Doh game. There's a game I saw, I think it was again on TikTok, on this vintage board game thing. It was a grape one, and I was like, oh man, I'd love to get that. I'm trying to think. It was like you were little grapes. I think it was called Grape Escape.
Oh yeah,
and you made the grapes. You could like torture these little grape characters, like cut them in half and squash them. But it looked like a mousetrap kind of game.
I think that one came after Splat. Okay. But it's the same concept.
Same
where
idea.
Yep.
But so Yahtzee was definitely high. The other one I remember playing a ton. I recently, my parents gave me our copy growing up. It has no lid anymore. It's just like the game pieces in the taped up bottom, and that is Racco. Right. And I can't even tell you that I even faintly remember how to play Ratco. I just remember we played it a ton. And I just thought it was kind of cool. They're like, do you want this? I'm like, I 100% want that. Just to say this was one of, the games we played as little kids. And, when it was raining in the summer, we played board games. We didn't have phones. We didn't have computers. We didn't have, we got stuff out and played Play-Doh and did all of those fun things together. So those were Grape Escape. There you go. AJ had it. And I think we played way more the word game with the tiles. What is it?
Scrabble?
Scrabble. I think we played way more Scrabble poorly than correctly. We just made up words. And
my favorite was Upwards. I loved so. Yeah, so my parents had Upwards and Scrabble, and I gravitated toward Upwards because I love the changing of the words. I love the verticality of that game. And then when I saw that Spin Master, actually, you have a copy of it.
I do. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, you got a copy of it, and I was like, that is a really fun game. I haven't played the new one though. So
yeah, it's solid. It's somewhere in here.
Yeah. AJ is that kid that probably had a copy of Fireball Island.
2 copies of it. And all the marbles.
And then all the kids would come over and be like, no, I'm playing this as a solo.
Don't touch my Fireball Island.
Yeah.
Ryan, you're reminding me that I feel like I had the weird oddball version, because we never had Scrabble, but we did have Upwards, and we played that. Like I said, we didn't have Yahtzee, but we had Kismet, and we didn't have Clue, but we had a game called Who Done It, which was basically Clue, except it also had a motive that you had to figure out as well. Yeah. And the other weird game that we had was called Conspiracy. And you had these little busts, these little heads that went around, and they were passing a briefcase to one another all over Europe. Gosh, I haven't thought about that game in years. Sorry, continue.
Interesting. No, that's funny, because it's like I go by the toy aisle sometimes just to see what's up with toys nowadays, and I'll see the little people, and it's all like the traditional whatever brand they are, Play School Little People or whatever, and then like one row over in a completely different color box, miniature people, and they look exactly the same, but you can tell it's like with a crappier plastic. And I'm just like, yeah, I would have had those. So Uno, Risk, and Scattergories. Scattergories holds up. I've got Scattergories, Taboo, and Risk all on one shelf under there, just because those are 3 games that I played so much as a teenager, and they've stayed in our collection, even though the boxes are just crumbling to pieces. So,
hey, speaking of kids,
yes, don't have kids, but I still go down the toy aisles. Absolutely. There was a period of time when I felt weird about going down the toy aisles, and I would actually hold up my phone and act like I was talking to somebody, like I was looking for something, just so it wouldn't be awkward. I feel like I made it way more awkward by doing that.
Man, so, I love going down the toy aisle. My wife knows when we go to whatever store, I'm like, well, he's going to look at the board games in the toy aisle. And
yeah.
My wife video games.
She's like, I'll just wait at the end. Come out if you need me.
Yep, so. She does. Like, don't buy anything, but you can look.
Oh man. Oh, this is fun. Rick, would you go to a different part of the store if you saw Bob in your toy aisle?
Wow. Yes. To
yeah.
answer your question.
Yeah. So it's good stuff. So
what does what's it do when question? I do this? Did it change to that picture?
I can put it up on the screen.
Is this the one you're talking about?
Let's see.
Oh yeah, that's 100% it. Yeah, you can see the little busts on the end.
Okay,
and there's
I don't know
guys going around and passing that briefcase to one another. I don't remember how it played, but yeah, that looks so old. That's probably from 1975.
Yeah, this one is on eBay, a 1980 copy. So yeah,
okay,
spot in.
Did Restoration Games redo that?
Ooh,
I think they did.
Oh wow.
Yes. So here I'm sending you a link. Go ahead and pop that one up. And they redid that game, because I remember I have no connection to that game, but Restoration Games redid it years ago. Yes, 73. So 1973, designed by Dr. Eric Solomon. So
yeah, there you go. I have no idea. Maybe it's a decent game.
So yeah,
they definitely do a solid job with what they put out there. So.
Yeah. So there we go. You relive your childhood. So.
As if that's not what we all do every single day. But yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So cool. All right. What is the next question?
Next question we're talking about is this right here.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the games.
I can't reach that far behind me, Ryan.
You're going to break something.
We're going to talk about this game that has been a staple of every one of our shows.
Yes.
In some category since the beginning. Now, we got together and got to talk about Green Team a little bit at Origins. We have a video on one board. Did you release that video yet?
No. So it's actually halfway through being I had some audio issues, so I was trying to make sure that I had good audio, and I just haven't finished the file. So I'll get that out tomorrow. So
yeah, so we just kind of wanted to share and be able to have you on, Nathan, to talk about Green Team, because we love it, but also like as a designer, like kind of introduce our audience to what you do. So I know this is not your first game, so kind of what's been your design, or what's been your board game kind of story?
I guess I never actually super thought about like my story. I mean, I feel like any other designer, I grew up loving games. I grew up loving conspiracy and A Question of Scruples. Oh yeah, Ryan has my first game there, which is Medium, which I designed along with my friend Danielle Deli, who I think some of you have met. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like those are the two games that we have out there, or that I have out there now. And they're both party games. And I guess like kind of my approach and what I try to do, because I was thinking about it last week about like this way, when you go out to lunch or you hang out with like one other person, it's like kind of cool and kind of fun. But when you have a third, there's always just a different energy, and it's always a little bit better. And I feel like it just gives you like a little bit more to do. And I feel like that's what I try to do in the board games that I'm involved in is kind of be that fun third person by proxy, because and I was thinking like this conversation, for example, is something that is a fun thing to do. But since Isaac sent these questions in advance, it makes it a little bit more fun. So it's taking the sort of thing that people like to do together for fun anyway, but adding some structure and adding a framework and adding a little bit to mess around with. And I think that that's what, and I would say that's what Green Team Wins and Medium both do. Take the kind of fun things you like to do with your friends, but give you something to bounce off of and give you a fun third person by proxy by the stuff that's in the box.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Green Team, I think what's so fun about Green Team, so I introduced a whole bunch of people to it at the pool. My brother and sister-in-law have a community pool in the neighborhood, and they invited us over on Friday night, and just trying to get into the weekend and unwind. So me and the kids went down to the pool and ate some pizza, and then we played Green Team Wins once everybody got out of the pool, and we had a blast. We had people who were in their 60s playing. We had people who were as young as 14 playing. I mean, we had a blast playing this game. And everybody was just like, oh man, why would you say that? I can't believe that. And then the one person, what was it? One of them is Blank Knight. Okay. And I intentionally didn't tell them what the spelling of night. Okay. So I said Blank Night. And I said, I'm not going to tell you what the spelling is. Just figure it out. We had all dark nights except for one person. One person at the table didn't say Dark Knight. And I was like, and we're playing like 10 people. And I was like, you are Orange Team.
So what did they say? Did they say like good night? Did they say something that's more the NIGHT kind of night?
Yeah, so they said good night. Yeah. So, and I was like,
and you said good night.
And I was like, you get no points. So.
Green Team is my it's my 20. I was just looking at my insights on my board game stats app. In 2021, this is my second most played game.
That's insane.
I played that prototype till I was reprinting it.
That's prior to it being released.
I mean, Chad taught us last year at Origins, and Bob said, you got to check this game out. You're gonna love it. It's crazy. I'm like, okay, all right. I love Chad. I love what he's putting out. Let me try this game. And we played a game where like rack it up, rack it up, and we just kept playing. And I told him, I said, I do a lot with young adults, with high school kids, with college kids. We're just social people in our family. And I said, I want to play this. I think I told you the biggest group I played this with was like 34 people.
That's amazing.
I want to play it with like 100, because I think it's a very doable thing. Because you like split the room, like Green Team go that way, Orange Team go this way, and just the shuffling around of it. But there's just something there's something about it's social and it's fun, but it's the discussion on the front end and the back end of the questions, right? That really make this thing shine. Like we had an argument between 2 or 3 college students that went on for weeks about one of the this or that. And I think it was like the imagination or trying to think of
or courage, imagination or courage.
And they're like, you can imagine to be courageous or you need courage so you can be like, it was just this back and forth. And it was fun to see, the debate, the discussion with it. But my favorite,
I think the best party games are ones that were only like a third of your time you're looking at your cards or looking at your components. I mean, the more you can be like looking at, having the conversation with your friend, that makes a real party game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we got to play this at the charity board game meetup at Origins, and Chad said, I'm going to bring a couple copies. We're going to give away some fanny packs. We gave away a copy, and I said, Chad, let me MC the games. I want to do this. I'm excited to do this. I love just MCing the game for people, and I know I told Ryan this, but Nathan, I don't know if I told you this. As I noticed, I think I mentioned it real quickly when we interviewed you. At Origins, is I noticed as people would come over, like have a seat, I can explain the game. Most people sat, some were like, no, but you kept hovering. We had And I'm like, man, like, just have a seat. Do you want to learn? You're like, no, I just want to know the answers to the questions. I'm like, why won't this guy sit down? This is a really good game. He's missing out. And not until that next evening, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was you standing there. So.
He's the one who created the game.
Well, but that was the absolute first time I'd ever seen a group. I'd only ever played it with like friends or people that I was playing it with. And it, like, you don't know how strange it is to spend, the pandemic quarantine, like quietly in your room writing questions and then thinking, I bet people will laugh at this in the future. You know what I mean? It's such a weird experience. And then seeing it in so many people's hands,
Yeah,
it's it was really something to see.
Well, I feel like this game is made for conventions. One of the things that we're going to be doing at Southern Fried Gaming Expo in Atlanta in just 2 weeks, we're gonna have some massive Green Team runs at night. So we're going to be playing Green Team at night, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're really excited about it because this is a game that encourages a lot of people to get together. Encourages people. I played Green Team with people that I didn't know anything about them, sat next to them, learned their preferences, and got to know them because of that. And so this is one of those tremendous icebreaker games, and it's one of those that is it's evergreen. It's a game that I was printing. Yeah. So I did not mean to do that.
Come on, you did that on purpose.
I messaged Chad on Christmas Eve and said, I can't find the print and play files. Can you send them over? Because I was so desperate to teach my family, my extended family, how to play Green Team on Christmas Eve. I got to the point where I just typed up some stuff on PowerPoint from what I could remember from all the games that I played previously, threw them on the TV, and we played Green Team anyway. So it was it was a blast. So
that's so cool. Well, can I say something about Chad real quick? Like when I pitched this, when I first pitched the game, like I knew 25th Century from like, kind of medium weight, strategy games. Like I really loved Space Explorers, for example. And I kind of felt like it was a long shot to pitch these party games to him. And like we had a Zoom call, pitched the games to him, and he was like, oh, I'm interested in Green Team Wins, and I mentioned this other one too. And then he asked for print and plays, and he's like, and it was right before Southern Fried Gaming Expo. He's like, I just wanted get this in front of people and see what people think. And I literally, I think, played it that weekend, and on Monday was like, I would love to sign this game, and I could not have been happier with what he did with it, because I feel like he really gets the right amount of silliness to seriousness that's in there, and I think was really open to some of the weirder questions. The only question that Chad asked me to change that comes to mind, one of the there was a card that was one of the best of 3 cards, and it was Brownie from the edge, middle, or corner. And he was like, nobody thinks that hard about brownies. It's just edge or middle. And so it made me take out corner. That's the only thing it made me change. It's probably the right call.
That card is one of the few that when we put this in front of people, we had it still as the 3 answers, and people were like, what I just think like edge or middle, like I don't think about. And so it was funny to see as it kind of paired up and that went through. So
So Bob's right. I think he said, I'm pretty sure I threatened Chad that weekend that if he didn't sign this game. That was actually our first experience at Southern Fried Gaming Expo. He brought the print and play. We played it at night. We played it 3, 4, 5 times. The Tantrum House folks came in, taught them how to play it. They played it. Like we played that game so much during the course of that weekend. And it was honestly one of the highlights of the weekend, so Southern Fried it will always be linked to Green Team Wins for us.
That's amazing.
And our 4 channels, all with this love for One Board Family, Tantrum, Game of Sidekicks, and Derek and Lizzie over at
Board Game
Spotlight. I approached Chad about, I said, Chad, like, how can we be a part of this game? Like, I want to be a part of this game, and was helping with the play testing. But that's when we came up with those cards, and he said, let me pitch the idea to Nathan. I'm like, I don't know who that is, but please pitch the idea to him. And and I was happy that, one, I think we came up with some fun stuff, and I'm just excited that it's a part of there's two things I'd love to see. I'd love to see our logo in a game, which this kind of is real close to that for me. But I'd love to see my likeness in a game someday. But this, it's just cool to be a part of it, to be a part of this thing with our channels. So
yep. So
Chad's in the chat.
Yeah,
Chad's in the chat.
I did not notice that. Okay.
Yeah, so we played both Friday and Saturday nights with different folks who were loud in the gaming area that night. That's right. Like that gaming area got pretty hype playing Green Team. So, and then this in just 2 weeks, we'll be back at Southern Fried, and we're going to be bringing copies of it with us, and it's going to be really exciting to play with rooms full of people. So,
sorry I can't be there, but post about it. I'd love to see.
Oh, we will. So, very cool.
I gotta ask though, no one has played this game more than you folks, I would say. Please, I mean, you got to be getting tired of the questions. There are not a million questions in the game.
No, not at all.
So what I did, it's interesting because I want to see. So we're actually halfway through all the questions just since we got it at Origins. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the questions that we go through, I'm putting them in a separate sleeve, a separate baggie, and then I'm going to recycle them back in. This way, I'm not going to get a peanut butter and jelly question or whatever. Like I won't get a specific question 2 games back to back.
That makes sense.
So yeah, so I'm interested. I don't know. I feel like of course you're going to have to do an expansion, and we already know what the name of that expansion is going to be because Aaron told you what it's going to be.
Always wins.
So
right. That's right.
But I really do believe that like an expansion like this, you know, Isaac, you talked about the fact that this would go over so well with some branded IP stuff, you know, doing something where it's different avenues, different geek culture avenues. I mean,
Marvel, Green Team.
Yeah, it would work so well. So, yeah.
I don't get bored of the questions. One, because I enjoy the emceeing part, and I'm looking at my insights from 2021. I played with 108 different people last year. Like I love to play with lots of different groups and small groups and families. And so to me, a question, one of my favorite questions, and I think you said was one of the first ones you wrote, was the who's killing it, right? Or who's killing it, right? It's Tony the Tiger, Toucan Sam, or
the cereal mascot.
Which one of these cereal mascots is like killing it right now?
That's right. Yeah.
And like I love people's like, wait, what was the question? How am I supposed to answer that? What does that even mean? Like, no more context.
Who's
putting in the effort?
Who's putting in the effort?
That's right. So I love putting that in front of so many different people, and people react differently to these questions. Like,
even though Tony the Tiger is the only answer.
I mean, Tony's been pretty consistent, but there's some questions that like everybody answers it one way, and it's so weird to see. Like the fire, or no, that's the one you said you wrote first. The fire, the internet, right?
Oh yeah, which has done the most damage to the world? Fire, the internet, or the wheel?
Almost everybody says internet, but there's always one person who says the wheel. Always
Which
one.
I don't know that person. That's not a friend of mine. So.
Might have been your wife, I think.
It might have been my wife. Yeah. No, Aaron will definitely say internet all day.
But I love watching just that. Like there was the pancakes or waffles question, and the first time I played it, whoever read it said pancakes or, and I quickly wrote down waffles and flipped my card over. I'm like, I know it's not pancakes. So everybody around me picked pancakes because they saw me write so fast.
Interesting.
And then when we flipped it, I was like, waffles. They're like, are you serious? You didn't even hear it. I'm like, I knew the other answer had to be waffles.
They just this game can literally reach anyone. So that's right.
Yeah,
I think some of my favorite parts are the questions that people can have different interpretations of, because there's one that's too many pillows or too many stuffed animals. And I think you could say, and I feel like you could say which of those is more annoying to deal with when going to bed, or which of those is preferable, which of those is cuter. And and I like when people are like, what do you mean? It's like, well, no, this or that. That's the whole thing.
There is nothing else to this. This or that. That's it. And I love that because people want to overanalyze. It's like, no, well, what's the scenario? Whatever you have in your head, that's the scenario.
Yeah.
You name it. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. So let's get into these 5 games of summer. So we're going to talk about 5 games that we take, whether we're traveling, going to the beach, going to a hotel, going to be on the road for a little bit. I want to switch one of mine out, but I'm not going to. So honorable mention to Deep Sea Adventure. So I'll just say that. Yeah.
So we just name one, give it a quick why, and we'll work our way around. So
yeah, Nathan, you shoot one off, number 5 on your list, and then we'll go after you.
They don't have to be in particular order.
Yeah,
terrific,
no
good.
particular order.
And I don't know what the two of you used for your criteria, but I mean, I kind of imagine people around like a picnic table or something. So my criteria were pretty much small box or mostly cards, easy to transport, small footprint, doesn't take up a lot of room on a table, easy rules, and for the most part, large player count, but that isn't always the case. But my first one, and I definitely remember playing this with my wife, sitting at a table by a hotel pool while our kids were swimming, is a game called Red 7. Do you know this one?
I do.
It's a card game, right?
It's a card game. It's a small box card game, and there are 7 suits. They are the 7 colors of the rainbow. And on your turn, and each of this has a different criteria. Like, or I forget what they are, but like orange might be most evens, and like purple might be lowest number. And so you can either play a card to your tableau to add to what you've got, or you can play to the middle of the table to change the rules of the game. And so the game advertises itself as 7 different games. You're either playing red, you're playing green, you're playing blue. I love Red 7. It's a really great game for 2 to 4 players.
Yeah. Got a picture of Red 7 right there.
Wow. So there it is.
Look at that.
Perfect.
So cool. So my number 5 is going to be Lots Filled In. So I don't know if you guys have played Lots from Royal End Games. Lots is kind of like a reverse Jenga. You're trying to build a tower cooperatively, but you're getting points based on each time you complete a level. And there's some catch-up mechanics, which are really, really cool. Lots Filled In is the roll and write version of this. Each player gets a different building that they're going to be filling in with different colors. And you're taking basically Tetris-style pieces. They're all 4 cells, long, wide, whatever, 4 configuration, and you're going to be pairing them up. So if you take a green and a blue, you're going to get to use one shape and one color, your choice. It works really, really well. This is a game that my wife really likes as a roll and write, and it's same, almost all the rationale that you said, Nathan. That's what it went into the picks that I have. Lots Filled In is a great one that plays in about 15 to 20 minutes. Played this in an airport while we were taking some flights just earlier this year, and it worked fantastic. So
yeah, super solid. I was surprised that it was one I backed because it was a very inexpensive Kickstarter, but I loved it. It was really good.
It's really good.
So card games to me are the weird thing with the outdoor thing because of wind and blow away stuff, right? So I like card games that maybe don't like I wouldn't play Enchanted Plumes because you're building this giant, or like longboard or stuff that they have to stay out, but cards maybe don't stay as long. And a pocket size type of game, I went with Tussie Mussy first, or really any of these Sprawlopolis, quick easy card games. We're going on vacation here in a little bit. This is easy, quick, simple. This is with the expansion. This is going in my pocket, right? It's going to be in my bag. This is a quick, easy game that the whole family can play. It's Elizabeth Hargrave. So, I mean, it's an auto for me there. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Beth Sobel might have done the art on these, which is always a sell for me also. So awesome. Tussie Mussy is my first pick.
Nice.
That's great. I haven't played that one either, but it's one I hear talked about a lot. And actually, there's so many of those 18 card games that I'm like, oh, I should check that out, and haven't done so yet. So take a look. My second game is another card game. It is a drafting game called Boomerang. I don't know if you know this
Boomerang.
I love Boomerang so much. It's so simple. It is a drafting game where you are visiting Australia. And so on each card, there is one of the provinces of Australia. There is, an animal of Australia. Anyway, and what you're going to do is you're drafting all of these cards by passing them around the table. And there's a kind of a fun gimmick where your first card has to be lower than your last card because that's your boomerang card, like you're throwing it around. And so you always get points that's the difference between those two. But then primarily what you're doing, it kind of has a roll and write feel. So it's sort of a draft and write in a way where you've got a little map of Australia. And when you collect these cards, you're filling in on the map. So so you get points for being the first person to visit all of the parts of the province. You get, and then you'll get points at the end for all of the souvenirs that you got, or for all. And I love a theme that is just like family vacation fun.
Yeah.
It feels like a summer trip to Australia. Love Boomerang.
Yeah, and this is another one that actually is on Board Game Arena. So Bob taught me this one, or I think Rick may have taught me this one. Boomerang is on Board Game Arena, so you can play that now for free. Or if you have the subscription to Board Game Arena, Australia version, US, and
Europe, I think.
Europe. Yep. Oh. So they are all available on Board Game Arena and really, really fun to play. So.
Another game to add to my need to buy list.
Yeah, definitely. My next game is Potion. This is a little bottle. This is an odd little set collection game where all the pieces are in this little medicine bottle. I bought this for Aaron for Mother's Day one year. Everything, including the instructions, fits in this, and they are acrylic. They're really, really nicely made acrylic tokens. I don't know if it's going to get that. Maybe it won't focus on that. Anyway, they're really nice acrylic tokens. There's, I think, 3 different potions, mushrooms, and beetles, I believe. And so you're rolling these dice and trying to collect these things, but you're trying to watch out for your opponents because they're going to collect things faster than you and take the victory. So this is a really cool little game that it plays in 10 minutes, plays up to 7 people, which is really kind of crazy. Wow. Oh, that's right. You have them in your hand. Yeah. So that's right. You have them in your hand and then you're taking them out. And so you kind of don't need a table. The smallest table in the world would be fine to play Potion. So it's really good. So.
Chad said not through TSA though.
That is true. Didn't think about that. So we actually haven't traveled with Potion other than going to dinner and stuff like that. So
heavy in weight. This game ain't going anywhere. And as far as outdoor goes, for a 2-player game, I can't think of a better is Shogu. Like, this is such a great, easy, tranquil. The photos you guys had of this when you did your review were great. Yeah, it was one of my favorite little photo spots with these. This is another one Bob taught me. He's like, dude, sit down, play this. I'm like, this looks dumb. I'm not playing this. And we're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches in. I'm like, gosh dang it, I gotta go find this tomorrow at the game hall. So Shobu is such a fun, easy 2-player.
I think Bob is the reason why half of that stock sold. Because he just kept talking about it over and over.
Yeah, he was in for sure.
Yeah.
It's my second pick.
That's cool.
Great. My third pick is, I think, the only deck building game that I can imagine playing outside. It is Flip City.
Oh yeah,
I love Flip City. Thank you for mentioning Flip City.
Yeah, it's so good. And I love it because you hold your whole deck in your hand. It's got to push your luck element as you flip things over. And I love that it's got 2. Oh gosh, I'm going to space on one of them, but it's got 2 different win conditions. One is, remind me what they are, right? One is having a certain number of stars out, and I think one is just playing a certain number of cards without busting.
Yes, so I think it's like 20 something cards without busting, which is a wild, like that the criteria for that is nuts. And so, or maybe 18 or more cards or something like that. But anyway, it is a lot of fun. Interesting story behind Flip City. Flip City, it was a game that Aaron and I were addicted to playing 2 players. And it's a really solid, just super quick 20-minute deck builder. So Aaron and I would play Flip City at night. We would play 2 or 3 games of Flip City. Well, it got to the point where I had won so many games of Flip City. I was somewhere in the high 20s. I had won 28 games back to back, somewhere around there. And she was so frustrated that she demanded that we play over and over and over until she won. And then when she did win, we took a picture and posted it on Instagram and put our record on there. But it's such a memorable moment for Aaron and I, and that little card game is so cool. So
Yeah, it's a great game. It packs a lot in there. And it does such innovative things for a deck building game. And like I said, so many deck building games have like 30 piles of cards and it's just a lot going on. But I could definitely play this on a picnic table.
Absolutely. So the next one doesn't require very much, just your fingers. Finger Guns at High Noon. This is a very silly party game where players are going to, it's basically advanced rock, paper, scissors. Players are going to go 1, 2, 3, shoot, and everybody's going to either shoot somebody at the table, or they're going to pull a stick of dynamite, or they're going to lasso an ally to help them out. A different person is the sheriff each time. It's such a unique little party game, and it's one that requires so little table space. All you have is a little card in front of you that has a little health tracker and a like a little list of the rules, and then you've got a card in the middle that you can lasso to become an ally with. It's a lot of fun. It is one game that it's a party game that doesn't get enough credit, and as long as you got your hands attached, you can play Finger Guns at High Noon. So
it's a very specific criteria, sir.
I know. I don't know. I was thinking about it. I was like, you could probably play this in a car if you were all in the back seat. That's why we have self-driving cars, people, so that we can do this.
It's bad idea.
The technology is finally caught up.
Finally, we can play Finger Guns at High Noon because of Tesla.
My third one is going to be my first of 2 dice games, and that is Roll For It. My Roll For It copies are beat to heck. I have both of the 2-player or 2 to 4 players, so this can play up to 8 people. It's all in here, all the dice, all the cards. Such a simple game, right? It's that game where we go, oh man, why didn't I think of that? But it's so good. It's easy. We take this a lot to meals. We'll play it on a picnic table. It's a game our family enjoys, and honestly, I can't say enough good stuff. Everyone can play this game. Great, easy summer outside game.
Isaac, how do you play? Can you run through it real quick?
Yeah, so Roll For It. Everybody gets 6. Is it 6? 1, 2, 6 dice. There's different colored. They're mini dice, right? Everybody gets a set of these 6 dice, and then there's 3 cards laid out at any particular time with certain dice and monetary point values at the end. You roll all your dice and you set them in front of one of these cards. If you can claim it, you take it and you score that many points. First one to, I think it's 30, maybe 30 or 35 points wins. But if you can't claim this, maybe you only rolled the 2 5s, you leave your 2 5s there, but somebody else could come in with their 2 5s and 2 and take it before you. And then you just lose all your dice. And if you overcommit, because you only have 6 dice, which is usually how people first play this, they'll put 3 1s over here, and then they'll put one of their 2s over here.
Oh no!
Like, wait a second, what am I gonna do? My favorite thing is this game forces people into these, which are the big 15 pointers, but you have to get all 6 of your dice to match whatever's on it. These are hard, but if you get one of these, you're like a third of the way to winning.
Oh wow!
But it's super light, easy. Everybody, like, it takes about that long to teach, and it's okay. Roll the dice, let's go. So fun little calliope game.
Great. So my fourth game. Wait, is that where I am? Yes. My fourth game is, and I feel like maybe I came from this a different way, because I feel like all mine are like small box card games, but that's what summer feels like to me. Like when we travel, we go on vacation, I get one of those. I've never bought a baseball card in my life, but I have those long white boxes from the baseball card shop, and I just fill them with as many card games as I can, and that's what we play. And one that we play, I grew up playing a lot of euchre. I grew up playing a lot of spades, and so one of the most mind-melting trick-taking games that I play now is the Bottle Imp. The Bottle Imp, if you don't know it, it's just a deck of cards and then a little wooden bottle, and so there's 3 different colors of cards, which are the 3 suits. But the trump is whatever is underneath, is whatever value card is underneath the bottle or less. So it starts out as 18. So if you're the first person to play a card that is less than 18, you win the trick, but you take the bottle, and whatever card you played is the new value of the bottle. And so if you end up with the bottle at the end of the game, you lose points. You don't get anything. And so it's such a hard thing to wrap your mind around. But once you get that idea of trump is constantly getting lower, how can I get rid of my 1 or my 3? Because if I get stuck with it, I'm going to eat the bottle. It's It's got such beautiful, cartoony, comic strippy looking art, and it's got a fun little bottle. We love the bottle imp.
That's really cool. I know of the game. I've never actually played the bottle imp though.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, you can see the little bottle at the top there.
Nice.
There you go.
Cool. So my fourth game, Panic Island from Blue Orange Games. Part of the reason is because this is a really cool, nifty zippered pouch that it comes in, and it is a real-time memory game that is played in teams. And so what you're doing is you've got these really cute illustrated cards, and you're trying to find the exact matches, the matches of certain cards. It plays in 2 minutes. Some of the cards give you special abilities and things like that. But it's you run into hazards. And what's cool about it is, if I'm remembering it correctly, there's actually almost like a campaign to it where you can throw in, okay, if you want a little more difficulty, throw in this card. If you want a little more of this, do this. And then at the end of the game, you're basically trying to beat your old highest score. We have actually never gotten past 7 points, which is novice chiefs. So not very good at all. So, and it comes with a little sand timer. We've played this one, beachside-ish, coming off the beach, and it's such a great portable game. And if you're playing with kids, I think this is definitely a game. I've never heard anybody talk about it, but Panic Island is really cool. It's in a tin. So that's a tin right there. It's really cool. It's throwing this in a bag and playing this with kids is a lot of fun. So
zipper tin.
Huh? Yeah, it's a
zipper tin,
zipper on a tin, and then it's got a little carrying strap right there.
What a weird combination. I've never seen a zipper tin before.
Blue Orange Games and Old Chap Games, and it plays up to 8 players. That's the other thing. Yeah. If you want to play solo, do that.
Number 4 for me is my favoriteest of favorite card games for a group of update people. In fact, we just played recently, Ryan, and that is Skull King.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you can't go wrong. This game is top to bottom. And again, like I said, I don't like games where cards are blown around. This could definitely get there a little, but for the most part, cards are on and off the table pretty quick, mostly in your hand. Skull King I have yet to introduce this to somebody and they're like, I don't like that. This is a game everyone has thoroughly enjoyed.
Yes.
Great game. Yeah. Love that. That would almost make my list. That's a very Nathan-y choice. You can see that's right in line with the kinds of games I pick. I did consider it.
Perfect.
Great. My last game is one that is probably 300 years old, but it never does get old, and it's Liar's Dice. We love Liar's Dice. If you don't know it, everybody has a cup. Everybody has, I forget how many dice you start with. You start with 5 dice. You shake up your cup. You put them down. You peek at what you've got, and then you go around the table, and you based on what you know that you have, you say there are 3 4s on the table, and you go around until someone challenges you. If there are 3 4s on the table, the person who challenged you loses a die. Anyway, I feel like maybe it's, I don't know, it was played in ancient Egypt and on pirate ships and in Viking towns, and definitely at my picnic table every chance I get. Liar's Dice, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, a friend of ours got addicted to Liar's Dice. She had like 3 copies of Liar's Dice, and she was like, I'm bringing over my Captain Jack Liar's Dice. I was like, okay, that's fine. Let's do it. So,
have you played Spoils of War?
I have not. Is it a Liar's Dice derivative?
It is. It's Arcane Wonders. It's hold on, I gotta grab the box. You may have seen the box. It was super big at Origins a couple of years ago. It was like their big game, Arcane Wonders, and basically it's Liar's Dice. It's got the cups, it's got the dice, but then there's also cards that you're competing for. Their victory points or give you some extra things, but there's still at its core, it's a Liar's Dice game, but it adds a set collection point aspect to it. So it's a ton of fun, and there's a lot of slamming on the table with the dice and all the fun stuff you would want. So.
How did you have that so handy? Did you know I was going to say Liar's Dice?
I'm sitting within reach of at least 2 of my big game shelves.
There we go.
And as soon as you said Liar's Dice, I thought, I know right where that one is.
That's cool.
I don't know where most of my games are, Greg, because none of them end up back with but there's a handful that I'm like, oh, I know right where that is.
Yeah,
here it is.
Yeah. So, Chris coming in the chat with orange team is for
some shade. That's absolutely right. By definition, it is the absolute truth.
Yeah, there's no losers of this podcast in this video show. We're all green team. This last one is Great Heartland Hauling Company. This one is a pick up and deliver game that is a lot of fun. I have played this game in a lot of hotel rooms on family vacations, and this one is just a great pick up and deliver game. It plays so well, and it's a lot of fun to try out the different configurations of cards. It's basically cards, cubes, and you're collecting cards similar to something like Ticket to Ride and playing them. You need to gas up your truck and get over to the different places to pick up inventory and then deliver them. It is a great pick up and deliver game, easy to teach. Great Heartland Hauling Company is definitely one of my favorites to take on vacation. So.
It's a great one. And I love the theme. There are almost no other big rig trucking games. So good.
Yeah, that's true.
Perfect. So. Bob has never tried it. And I'm pandering to guests. I don't care. This was on my list.
There we go.
Because this is right. You just said it. You took it to the pool and played this.
Yep. I played it at the pool, man.
How easy. Like we can go to the park, sit on the grass. No one needs a writing surface. No one needs a table. And this is easy,
I will tell you, when somebody rested their board against their wet swimsuit, did I get mad? No. But I just watched them very carefully and got a little steamed. That's all.
And one of mine got a little warped when we were at dinner, but I didn't care because I just enjoyed playing it with everybody.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's okay. It's a game. It's meant to be played. All right. But yeah, I mean, to me, this is this is gonna be an all the time game, but it fits well for, hey, we're outside.
Yeah.
I don't need a table. Everybody here, write down. Let's have a good time. Yep. So this is a good game.
Thanks so much. Well, yeah, he didn't have to do that. I feel like we've talked about it so much. Oh, for sure.
And the fanny
pack.
You know how the fanny packs came around?
Chad, while you're in the chat, my fanny pack had a casualty of my son stepping on the edge of it because I left it in the wrong place in the game round.
He's gonna say it sounds like a you problem.
It is definitely
party too hard.
So I party too hard.
So I was out. I was out rollerblading. I love rollerblading, and I saw all these people with fanny packs on. And I was thinking about this game because I'm always thinking about this game.
That's true.
And I messaged Chad when I was done. And I messaged Chad. I'm like, what do you think about a fanny pack for green teams? He's like, that's crazy. And like literally 4 hours later, he's like, here's the mock-up for the the fanny pack. I was like, I'm telling you, that style, the 90s style, like just begs for it. Like, and this style was our jam. We're talking about what we wore. Like, man, we saw this is what we grew up with, right? This is what the floor of the roller rink looked like where I went, right? This is what we saw in the arcade, right? And so I love the style. I love so many pieces just fit perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, if you're at a convention this convention season, be sure to grab a game of Green Team Wins because it will definitely be being played. So we're gonna skip what we've been playing just because we're like an hour and 10.
Yeah. Sorry,
Nathan. It's been fun hanging out with you. No, this is all us. We love hanging out with you. So
I love hanging out with you. I couldn't believe you asked me.
That's good. So Nathan, where can people find you online?
Like on Twitter, probably mostly it's Storm Chaser Game on Twitter due to character restrictions. And I think that's the main place. And you can find me in Columbus, Ohio, if you want to come by my house. I live on Blue Jay Drive.
That's kind of a weird thing, but that's fine. Yeah, that's
nice.
fine. So my wife
posted his address.
Yeah. This is the address right there. No, my wife was stalking we watch a YouTuber, YouTube cook, a YouTube chef, and he lived in Macon, Georgia, which is where my in-laws live. And Erin knew where he lived. She was like, we watch his cooking show. Do you think we should just like pass by his house and just be like, hey, what's up? We really like your stuff. I know you have like 7 million followers at this point. He moved to Tennessee now because he actually has like money. But we did, almost drive by his house. Like a bunch
we
of
wouldn't put it out there if he didn't want guests. That's why. I mean,
well, no, Erin looked it up.
Your audience.
Erin looked it up. Erin tried to find it, so she was like, "That house looks familiar." So anyway, it was fun.
That's awesome.
You can find us at One Board Family all over the place. Go to oneboardfamily.com. We actually have a full review of this wonderful little game right here, Acropolis from Gigamech.
You snuck in what you're playing.
That was. Hey, get yours ready. Get yours. Sneak yours in.
I don't know where it went.
Oh, jeez. Anyway,
I still regret not picking that. It looks like a great game.
It's real good. So, but I just published the review this morning. So head over to oneboardfamily.com and check it out.
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah, we're over at all the things Gaming with Sidekicks, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, TikTok. Come find us at all the AOL, IM.
Yeah.
We're
Tumblr,
all those things. We just posted our review for Tree Blocks, which is a fun little asymmetrical 2-player game that found somebody in the media chat on Facebook was like, hey, we'd love to get some eyes on this, and we love 2-player games, my wife and I. So
the components look really cool in that game. So,
it was fun. It was different. So
very cool.
Nathan, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Isaac, absolutely. Ryan, thank you so much for having me. It's always a blast hanging out with you, and it's great to see so many wonderful names in the chat of other beloved folks in the community. So thanks from the bottom of my heart for having me on.
Absolutely. All right, you all have a great night. See ya.
Bye-bye.